plenty of students, once they've decided that they don't want to do CA for some reason, but they still want to stay in the finance and accounts domain, they have two most common choices currently in India which they can choose from. One is ACCA or one is CFA. So hopefully today I'm going to explain all the difference. Make the right choice, guys, at what pace you're choosing ACCA and CFA. Do not do it for reasons like somebody else is doing it, they told me. Understand what they stand for, and hopefully once you make this decision, you'll be really grateful that you chose the right one. It will change your life. So I'm going to explain all the differences between ACCA and CFA and hopefully make it much easier for you all to choose. So point number one, what is the difference between ACCA and CFA when it comes to the nature of the programs? So ACCA is global CA. It covers everything in the field of finance and accounting. It's basically chartered accountancy. CFA is much more specialized in finance. So it's to do with things such as investments, portfolio management. It is more to do with corporate finance, and it is a specialization, it's a niche which is extremely valuable in the field of finance. That is part one. Part two, about the difference in their exams. So ACCA has 13 exams, 1-3. You give the exams one by one, approximately on a quarterly basis, and you can complete the ACCA in around 2 to 2.5 years on an average. The subjects cover everything from accounting to financial management, costing, audit, tax, the basics that you would have known which apply to chartered accountants. For CFA, how it works is the exams are in 3 levels, level 1, 2 and 3. Each of the 3 levels have 10 subjects, the same 10 subjects. Obviously the level of difficulty varies and the split of the 10 subjects per level changes. Now, level 1 you can give every June and December, and level 2 and 3 you give only every June. From 2021, CFA is going on a quarterly exam basis where you'll have exams happening every February, May, August and November. On an average, CFA you can complete between, again, 2 to 3 years, but it can also go to 4 or 5, similar to ACCA. It depends. The kind of subjects that are there in CFA, there are some subjects which are overlapping with ACCA in accounting, such as financial reporting, financial management, but CFA will be revolving more around things such as equity, alternate investments, portfolio management, derivatives, and that you need to understand the difference between both of those to know whether ACCA is more of your liking or CFA. Point number 3, the scope. I'm going to, as usual, split the scope between India and then overseas. ACCA scope in India is more to do with the Big Four, the MNCs. I've already mentioned companies such as KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, Grant Thornton, BDO. These are the kind of companies where you get hired as ACCAs. You get hired equivalent to that of CAs in positions such as audit, advisory, mergers and acquisitions, valuations, those kinds. Right? Again, it is very similar to the life of a CA, which a lot of people excel at. Right? That is for ACCA. In India, CFA in India is again quite well recognized. Okay, a lot of companies are hiring CFA. CFAs are hired not again in similar companies like the Big Four and all these multinationals, but also companies such as Bank of America, UPS, Merrill Lynch, your Indian companies like 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗏𝗏, you all would know about Anand Rathi. These are the kind of companies that hire CFAs. The packages of CFA. So first of all, after level 1 also in CFA, you can get hired, you can start working and give level 2 and 3 over the course of your work, so that you're not stuck only studying, you're working and studying. You get hired after level 1, and obviously as you progress, your value just increases. I said ACCA you get sort of, it's similar to CA, so you can get anywhere between 6 to 8 lakhs as an ACCA member, and for CFAs, whether you've been hired post level 1 or level 3, you can get anywhere from 4 to 8 lakhs, depending again on which company, what profile, what position, what experience you were hired with. So that comes to the sort of scope in India. When it comes to scope overseas, both are are internationally recognized qualifications by nature. ACCA is headquartered in UK, CFA is headquartered in USA, and they're both recognized across the world. So that is the scope overseas. Fourth, eligibility. Now, the good part for ACCA is that you just need to be a 10th cleared student. That's it. And you need to have the inclination and want of doing ACCA, because that's what ACCA wants. They don't have too many eligibility criteria. There's a whole video on this if you all would like to see it. CFA, you need to be in your final year of graduation. So for most likely you would want to be in your 𝗕𝘃𝐵Com or 𝗕𝘃𝐵BA or 𝗕𝘃𝐵MS before you appear for CFA. And one major criteria is that you need to have an international passport for CFA. But it's a very simple qualification. The only thing it means is you can't do it if you are in college unless you are in your final year. So that's the only catch. If you're already working, like for example, when I used to work I've worked in a couple of companies, and there were a lot of chartered accountants who had completed their CA. Some were still struggling with CA, but they started work experience. They realized CFA is a huge opportunity for them to uplift themselves. So they started studying CFA, and because CFA only happened, at least for level 1, it will happen only 6 monthly, right? June and December. So level 2 and 3 is only every June. What would happen is, these people could continue working, study in a flexible manner, because it was not exams which were very close by and a lot of exams. They could study peacefully along with their work, once in a year give each level, complete and get a gradual but a definite rise in their career. So as long as you are not wanting to start it too early, CFA the eligibility will make not too much of a difference. Finally, what is the total fees between the two? So if you start ACCA from scratch, I've always said it costs anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 lakhs total, including exam fees, registration, subscription, study material, training, everything. CFA on similar lines will come close to around 2.5 to 3 lakhs. Some probably could be more, but if 2.5 to 3 lakhs, and that will include everything. Again, it will include your exam fees, your registration, your study material. There are certain types of calculators which are only allowed in the CFA exam, the training, everything will happen within 2.5 to 3 lakhs for CFA. So these are the primary differences between ACCA and CFA, and how you should choose. You please ensure first you understand the difference between what is in finance and accounts and chartered accountancy, and what is in an only finance qualification, which is into investing and stuff like that. Then understand the syllabus, understand the scope, which is luckily for you all very similar. So as long as you have the inclination of doing something in the finance and accounting world, either of these are at least a good starting point to you. Now, as a final leaving tip, right? My best students, at least the best students we have at 𝗲, are the ones who, after their 12th, they started ACCA, completed ACCA within 2.5 years, right? Maybe by the graduation, got a job in one of the big companies with really attractive salary packages, okay? And now, after they've started their career, simultaneously they're studying for CFA. Because once you have an ACCA qualification, you're not waiting, because you can finish that early. Second, if you like finance, because you study finance in ACCA, you realize I like it, and you can start CFA. Do not wait to finish CFA and then start working. Because if you start CFA in your TY, by the time you give level 2 and 3, you would be around 22, 23, which is still not a bad age, but you have the advantage that by 2021, you start working in a big MNC, maybe a big brand, a company which you would like to work in, get a good brand on your CV, start getting work experience and start performing, okay? And simultaneously, you can start studying CFA, because CFA exams happen once in a year, at least level 1 is once in 6 months, and then the other two are once in a year. So it would be completely manageable for you to perform well in a big company as a qualified ACCA, and then you study CFA. I have seen so many people who've completed the CA or ACCA are working in advisory roles, and they want to shift into a finance role. So they want to shift into corporate finance, into equity research, into investment banking, portfolio management. They've really done well in their studies with respect to finance and accounts because of ACCA and specializing in finance. CFA is the #1 investment management program in the world. So when you do that, you are already well recognized in the community. You have experience, you have age, you have knowledge on your side, you have companies, big companies on your CV. Chances of you getting the kind of dream job you want by studying and combining these two qualifications is the highest chance that you have to really succeed in the finance and accounting, the F&A domain. So I hope this video really helps you guys. If you want to understand the difference between CA and ACCA, we have another video, a much more detailed video on only ACCA. And if there's any other video with respect to CFA you'd like us to make, please let us know.